Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
Hi Anton, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, doing well, thank you. All right. So wonderful to see you today. How's everything going for you?
It's going well. It's quarantine's a little boring, not gonna lie, but it's going well.
A lot of Netflix.
An absurd amount of Netflix. Probably too much. The screen time on my phone is higher than it should be.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, I think that's the way it is for a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
me, I know for me, I'm watching a comedy every night it seems
Yeah,
on Netflix, just burning through them because I like the Hallmark films, so I've been watching those a lot.
they're really good. I've been trying to find as many people to give me recommendations as possible. Like all my
Yeah.
friends will be giving me shows. There's a
All
lot
right.
to watch.
Yeah, there is. If you haven't watched it yet, Enola Holmes is really good.
Oh, yes, I've been wanting to watch it. I
That
haven't watched it.
it launched last week. I
Yeah.
highly recommend it. Millie Bobby Brown. It just further proves that she's a star.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, she's incredible. Because the film mostly the film revolves around her. Yeah, you see like Sherlock and Mycroft Holmes, but it's more about her.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I really need to see it.
yeah, it's really good. It's on Netflix. So yeah. All right. So if we go back to the beginning, was there a defining moment for you to get into the film industry?
Um, well, I actually started because of both my brothers. We all started as just a family starting acting. And then slowly as we got older, I fell more in love with it, and then they left the acting world to become musicians. And I just kind of continued, and I realized that I really enjoy like taking on new characters and seeing it visually in my head. So I don't think there was a one specific defining moment. I just realized that I really enjoyed doing this.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But is music still a love of yours?
Music's definitely a love of mine. Especially in the family I have, every single one of them is a part of the music industry. So I'm definitely around it a lot. I wouldn't say that they're definitely the more musicians, they play music, produce it, write it, sing. And I'm a better audience member for music.
Okay, that's cool. So what was it about Max Winslow that enticed you to get involved?
I'm sorry?
What was it about Max Winslow that enticed you to get involved?
Oh, I actually got the audition first as Benny, the Jason Gennao's character, and it was like any other audition. I went in, thought it was a really really funny script. Interesting that it was kind of like an adventure with teens. It's it was just a really interesting trip. So I went in. They had me go back out and read for Ethan because they wanted a 18-year-old character for Benny. Um, and I remember really loving Ethan's character because every single line he said was an amazing joke. That there was a lot more to play around with. So I
Awesome,
think that was really cool.
awesome. All right. So obviously you share a lot of screen time with Sydney. How is she to work with
Totally
as
incredible.
brother and sister?
She's absolutely amazing. She's so nice. Um, it Unfortunately I only got to film for a couple days because I wasn't in much of it, but I had a lot of time to spend with her just to hang out with her, get to know her, and it was really amazing. She made it seem like we were brother and sister. Um, she's super nice, super funny, and an incredibly talented actress too.
Awesome. Yeah, I had the pleasure of speaking to her last week.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So what was it specifically about Ethan that grabbed you when you read the script that made you want to embody him?
The main thing was his comedy. He was super sarcastic, but still super like naive and innocent. When he's like, "Is that Common Core?" It was just really funny to super relatable.
Awesome. So on that, how do you relate to him?
I mainly relate to him in a bit of his sarcasm when he's talking to like his mom. He's like, "Come on, this could change our lives. We got to do this." Well, I'm definitely as enthusiastic as him and energetic. Just ask my family. So that's, I think, in his energy and like sarcasm is where I relate to him most.
Wonderful. Do you have any memories from filming that will stick with you throughout the rest of your career?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There was one where all of us went to go get dinner. And it was just there was nothing like specific that happened. It was just a really nice like dinner to like get to know all of them. And also the scene where we're in the football field and like she gets the notification that she gets the invitation. That was my first time ever being in real snow. That sounds very LA of me, but that flight over from, because we filmed in Arkansas, so that flight was my first time ever seeing snow fall in person. So that will definitely stick with me because that was the first time in my entire life.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because you don't get a lot of snow in LA.
Not in my entire life.
Do you have any favorite films?
There's a couple favorite films. There's some that are like, cinematic classics. Then there's some that are like childhood favorites, I definitely vary. I don't have like my favorite of all time, but recently The Truman Show with Jim Carrey is a serious favorite of mine. I forget how much I love it, and I just watched it recently. With that being said, one of my favorites for a long time was Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nicolas Cage and the guy who plays Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
Jay Baruchel.
Yeah, it was always my favorite childhood movie. Like that was probably my guilty pleasure, like comfort movie for sure.
Yeah, both good films in their own
Yeah.
right. I rewatched Truman Show during quarantine, and it's such a really well-made, brilliant film.
It's so good. It's just so interesting because a lot of the time, I feel like we all feel like that sometimes. Not necessarily that there's just show around us, but that like we're the main character in our movie and then like everyone else is like a part of it, whatever. That probably sounds selfish, but but it's just interesting. Like he never knows, and then he's got to figure out this whole. It's a really, really good movie.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Now you're quite early on in your career. Are there any other aspects of the film industry that you'd like to pursue?
I would love to pursue there's a couple things. As just a 17-year-old boy, I would always love to be a superhero. That's just always been a dream of mine. But also, I would love to work in a seriously dramatic role, where I'm taking on just a range of emotions. I don't think so far I haven't gotten a huge chance to show that yet, and that would be really interesting for me to do.
Awesome. So obviously this is a family sci-fi, and you've appeared in horror with American Horror Story, Hotel. Are there any genres that you haven't done yet that you'd like to?
Genres. I can't say I was like, oh no, yeah, I've always wanted to do so. Maybe a comedy, because I don't think I've done like a full like comedic like anything before, which would be really fun. But so far, all of the genres that I've done, I've really, really enjoyed.
Awesome. Yeah, and yeah, awesome. Is there a book that you're a fan of that hasn't been adapted to film or TV or Netflix yet you'd love to be a part of?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that. There's a book series that I've read since I was a kid, and they're large, but they're not necessarily like difficult to read. They're called The Unwanteds, and it's by this author Lisa McMahon, but it's kind of like these two. Sorry, I get flustered about it because I really love this book series. It's about like an island, and there's like two sides, Quill and Arteme, I think it is, and it's one is like super like left brain where it's like mathematical, it's like gray, and then the other one is like magic and whatnot. So those kind of like clash, and it's like a whole book series of this amazing thing. And I've always wanted to not only have it be a movie, but also be in it if I could. Because the two leads are twins. I don't have a twin, but I've always also wanted to do like the twin, for lack of a better term, like the Liv and Maddie scenario where one person is playing both.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, that book series I've always wanted.
Are the twins on opposing factions?
Yes, actually, throughout the book series, you see both of them slowly become the leaders of each side. Which is really, really interesting because one of them is super mathematical, clear, and like not as creative. And then the other one is like all like the creative. He knows all the spells. It's just really well. It's written really well.
Wonderful. Yeah, I haven't read that one. I'll have to look out for that.
I highly recommend the cover. Like the main thing it goes like it's like synopsis is kind of like Hunger Games meets Harry Potter. Which
yeah,
is really
I like both of those films.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll look that one out. Yeah, when it's safe to do so, I'll head to a bookshop. So, with the popularity of streaming services like Netflix, what do you think the future of cinema is?
I believe there will always be a form of cinema in a theater with a group of people. But I definitely understand that it's going to go more towards online home viewing, or at least for right now. Because obviously you can't go to a theater right now, but I definitely still think there's going to be that theater experience. It just brings something else to the actual movie. I just recently watched a video of like the theater reaction of when Captain America held Thor's hammer, and you could hear everyone just like roar and go wild. And I feel like that's just very specific to the in theater viewing. But also it's always, I feel like there's always definitely going to be, I don't think they'll go back. Like they're not going to stop viewing it on like Netflix, Disney Plus, like airing it there. They're just going to also air it there so you can watch it at home. But it's interesting to see how like companies and like productions are figuring that out. Like Mulan, like it wasn't just like released on it. It was like a special event that you could still pay for, like a normal movie, but then you could set it up, watch it with your family. So it's just interesting to watch.
Funny enough, Mulan was the last film that I saw in cinema.
Really?
It was the last press screening that I saw back in March before lockdown happened.
Wow. Yeah, I actually haven't been able to watch it, but my brother did, and he really, really loved it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I really liked it as well. The landscapes especially are so sweeping and epic when you see it on the big screen. I haven't seen it on Disney Plus yet, but yeah, I'm sure when you're watching it on a smaller screen, you might lose something in the epicness. But there we go. So, what are you hoping the audience will take away from Max Winslow when they get a chance to see it?
Mainly the idea of like, there's actually a lot of themes in this movie. Each kind of character represents a different idea. The main thing is like human connection kind of idea. Max is super introverted and in her own like technology world, and I think a huge idea to take away is getting that human connection, because all of them suffer from that. Like, you know, Max is in technology, Benny is doing video games all the time. They're all, even Sophia is influencer, and she's like stuck on her phone all the time. So I feel like the finding a break from like social media and technology and all that is like the main theme, with like an underlying of like just teen friendship adventure.
Awesome. Yeah. Certainly got that. No, you've worked with a lot of great talent, like not just in this film, but in like American Horror Story and everything else you've done. Do you still have a wish list of who you'd like to work with?
Yes, I'm overwhelmingly honored to have worked with the people that I got the opportunity to work with. But I definitely have always had a dream to work with, like Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks. Those are two very different actors, but those are two people that I've seen have such range in what they do, and every single one is like iconic and amazing. Those two I've wanted to work with for a long time just because they're like icons in the industry. But recently, with like the new like rise of like young actors, I've wanted to work with like Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Tom Holland. All of those would be really like a dream come true to work with.
You could be Timothy's brother.
Yeah?
Yeah, you got the hair.
Thank you.
And the look. So yeah. So in these difficult times, what are you looking forward to getting back to when it's safe to do so? Do you have any projects on the horizon?
Unfortunately, no, I don't have any projects. The quarantine is a hard stop on all production. So I can't say I have anything like in the works right now, but I've definitely been taking a lot of time to work on like college applications. I'm looking to go to film school for directing and acting. So I've been mainly focusing on that, and any self-tape I get, I'll put a lot of effort into. Yeah, I'm just excited to see friends again. Honestly, that's what I miss most.
Yeah, it started to open up a little bit in the UK. I think we're heading back into it, to be honest, but like heading back into lockdown. But yeah, those first 4 months were terrible because I couldn't see anybody. Yeah.
I'm really excited for production to come back. I don't know when or if soon, but hopefully.
Yeah. And you might get your chance of being a superhero because they are. I believe they're casting for the Young Avengers at the moment.
Oh yes, yeah. I would love to be that so bad.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, I'll leave it there. But thank you so much for taking time to speak to me today.
Of course.
It's been a pleasure. And yeah, I congratulations on the film. I look forward to whatever you do next.
Thank you so much. Your questions were amazing. It's wonderful to meet you.
Take care.
You too.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca. With the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels, it's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.